first one's always fun. The new came with plastic frames. Use plastic frames. I'm sure that's how my hive beetles got here.
Well, they just appear. Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same thing. Like you plant, I'm sure they, I mean, there may have been some eggs or something in there, but you know, like you plant tomatoes and you suddenly have tomato worms. It's like they just appeared. But they did come from some other country. So we have plastic ones. The plastic, they hide in the little holes in the plastic ones, so that's so that's one thing that happens.
I'm like, what a magnifying glass today for eggs.
I won't do it.
Yeah,
I'm not that old.
I'm 50. You're older than I am, man.
My eyes lasted longer than most of my friends as far as seeing stuff. And then if you want to get their stuff out.
Yeah, I do want to get that out of there.
They're eating it. I wouldn't, once you just set it out, and then if they still want it, they can go get it.
I was going to put it right on that water feeder right there.
Yeah. They'll go by. Did you guys make that, or did you buy them from?
I bought a box a long time ago. I got them in the freezer.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is what I like the best, although it's, we bought a lot of frames, plastic ones, and I'll probably start slowly transitioning away from it. That would be cool.
No, they fit.
Did they fit in there?
Yeah, I made it to where it would fit.
Oh, okay. My wife never likes putting them on the ground, partly just leaning over. A lot of times what we do is we use an extra deep box and we'll just set it on the hive next, flip the lid upside down and then put the box there, and then you're up at a good height, and they don't go anywhere because they're in the lid. So that works really well.
I have extra boxes.
You'll end up with lots of extra boxes most of the time.
Oh, no. Yeah.
This is what the good happy thing. Get some honey in it.
I've been feeding them pretty well.
We haven't fed ours for a couple of weeks now. There's a lot out there right now, so there's
Nectar-wise?
Yeah, there's a lot of nectar. All the dogwoods, dandelions, a lot of dandelions.
So I don't have to probably.
Well,
I'm leaving town for
you could,
next week.
yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. If you're, I mean, I'd feed them if you want to feed them.
Okay.
They'll definitely draw the frames out faster.
Food larva. So she's in there.
Probably. Sometimes queens are.
This one is particularly difficult to find.
This is a little older one. Another thing you can do is take another box with a lid and put a Phoenix screw there, and you can just shake them off. All the frames, take a bee brush, and brush all of them off, and the queen won't fit.
I got Phoenix screws.
usually I'll put a box on, put a clean excluder there, put a box on top, and use it kind of like a funnel. And then you just brush them all with a bee brush. Kind of a mixture.
I see brood or larva on the edges. I was just looking to see if I could see a darn egg.
Yeah, that's all top.
The edges is larva.
There's some really young ones. They're 3 days old or so.
Do you care about the bottom here?
I usually clean it off.
That's all drowned.
Just leave it. I mean, it isn't a big deal. But
I cleaned it off last time I was in there.
there she is.
Really nice. You want to see her, Jared? Okay.
So, you might buy. We have some extras. You can buy these little queen clip things, and you can buy other queen marking things. And
Yeah, I plan on getting them.
My wife doesn't like to do it. The best way, the one way to do it is just catch them by the wings.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's all kept.
It's all good.
It's all kept food. So yeah, she's a good queen. She's laying a lot, so this should be a good healthy hive. They're drawing out fast. Solid brood. So you're gonna have a lot of bees real soon. This is like twice as, I mean, there's as much brood there as there are bees, so you're gonna have double the number of bees within a week. This one is all honey, so what you can do is slide this over. And you're not breaking up the brood chamber.
Gotcha.
And they'll draw this frame really fast. I usually clean this stuff off because it just makes a mess.
Yeah, those hive tools are super sharp. Ask Jared, he poked a hole in the bottom of the feeder last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've cut myself. And then start collecting all the wax because it's.
We do. We have a
Cool.
freezer bag full.
It won't give you. It takes a lot of wax to
Yeah.
do very much. But we have enough now. We're going to make some candles.
You made some lip balm.
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, I saw your post.
Oh, people love that stuff. I mean, my wife keeps it at her office to give away, and it's gone. And I've got a new batch I'm gonna label up.
I was making so. No, she put some beeswax in it this last week. We sell honey anyway. We're gonna not have any left. By the time farmers markets start this year, we're gonna be out of them.
Well, do you think it's ready for the second box?
When are you leaving?
Next Wednesday.
I'll do it in a few days.
Should I bring one of these brood, chew those up, and put 2 new ones down, or not break it up? Just let it go.
You don't want to put the brood ones up, but you could go ahead and you could put like an empty one in and then one of these that has honey in it.
Okay.
You can leave this stuff or not. It doesn't really matter, but it kind of makes it easier to move stuff in and out. They want to make wax.
Okay, so all that sugar water I'm feeding them.
Well, and something that I hadn't really thought about, but I read it recently. They said bees of a certain age make wax. It's their job. So let's see if this one doesn't have any brood either. Does it hardly? Did it? I don't think it did. So let's go ahead and put this one in too.
I'm gonna fill up a. Would you hold this, sir? Close this thing up.
They draw the frames nicer when there's a drawn frame next to it.
Okay.
a lot of times you put 2 frames next to each other, and they'll draw one of them out all the way and the other, way into the other one, and they won't touch the other one. So sometimes you have to manipulate them around just to make them look better and not be such a mess. But you've got at least, you've really got 4 frames that aren't drawn still. So I think I would give it a few more days and see what they look like. Yeah, you just drop it in between the things more relaxed on. They're pretty tight. There's another style that we bought that we like better than those. They cost a little more, but they actually snap open closed again. These things just don't seem to fill up as good. Plus, I don't think I've ever caught a hive beetle in them.
That's encouraging.
Yeah. So this one's got a lot of space.
So before I leave Wednesday, throw a...
Yeah, you can go ahead and put another box on it. You could either just stick it on top and see what happens, or you could bring a frame up. You don't want to leave a bunch of frames next to each other that are undrawn where they're really working, because
You don't have many. That's not a lot of hive beetles, at least. You must have gotten them in time.
The larvae, yeah. This one doesn't seem to have the same amount of population as the other one does. A little less, I think.
Put in there yet.
That's a kept brood.
Just missed a few spots, but nothing major. So I'll go back and put eggs in. It's amazing how many people are interested in bees around here this year. It's crazy.
Well, that flow hive stuff is just gone like... I think on my Facebook page I get about a post a day. Hey, have you seen this? Yep, I've seen it. I'll take that off the bottom. I just post stuff that talks about. Probably not a good idea.
On the Bees and Beaks page, they just said, he's the guy that manages the page said, if I see one more post to do with this, I'm taking you off the group. He said I've seen more against it than for. All the comments we need, and let's move on and get back to beekeeping. Like, okay.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? 10 million they've raised so far.
It's insane.
It is insane.
It's an interesting idea, but the idea that you're going to not get into your beehive is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean the marketing on it was, you don't have to disturb the hive or go in there. Well, that's not true.
It's not beekeeping. You still got to manage it.
That's just stupid.
That's
talk.
just, yeah, I would just get that out of there. And
she pops out pretty substantially. She's marked really well.
I mean, this isn't an amazing brood pattern the way it's like all over the place, but a lot of times they'll take a couple weeks to really start playing good, and the other frames look good, so don't worry about it. There she is. She's big.
Yeah, she's just not kicking it like the other hive is. I don't think.
Well, they will only. This hive looks. I mean, this frame looks really good.
they'll only. Ow, bullshit got me. This out. So I moved that one thing over. This one's not drawn as much as the other one, but should be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that it was definitely not as strong as the other one. But not bad.
Another thing you can, if you get the really small ones, you can use put the little roach motels on it. They seem to work better than the else that we've tried. You could also get some kind of bait killer. Well, you can get the roach motel bait stuff like that you put in your own traps. They work okay in CD cases, the real thin jewel cases. You can just lay those on top. They don't stay together real long, so by the time you pry them off a couple times, they usually fall apart. But those work okay. They're pretty cheap. We really like the other kind of one of those the best.
What, do you bait them some way or somehow?
Yeah.
What do you bait them with?
Well, I think you can put oil in them, but I think there's a center place for bait. I think you could actually put that stuff in it, the pollen stuff in there,
Oh, yeah.
and draw them into it, and then you would know where they were. You could